8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. A new political party was launched as a new alliance in Jayala today. The Grama Lirdari exam results released. Recruitments expected soon. Minister Tiranala says that punishment will be meted out to offenders without considering their status when completing the investigations into the Easter Sunday attacks. Somali pirates seize a Sri Lankan fishing trawler with 6 crew members aboard. Donald Trump ordered to pay $3.3 million for defaming writer E. Jean Carroll. A new political party was launched as a new alliance in Jayala today. Parliamentarians Anura Priyadarshana, Nimal Lanza and Ministers Nalin Fernando and Susil Premajanta were present at the occasion. Minister Nalin Fernando said that the Janata Vimukti Peramuna that has a lack of experience cannot build the country. Therefore, they have decided to form a new alliance. The State Minister of Home Affairs Ashoka Priyanta says that the list of 4,232 candidates who qualified to face the interview for the vacant Grama Lirdari positions based on the written examination has been released. The relevant list has been published on the official website of the State Ministry of Home Affairs, which is accessible through the link www.moha.gov.lk. Accordingly, a total of 2,002 individuals will be recruited to the Grade 3 of the Grama Lirdari services based on the results of the interviews. Meanwhile, the State Minister also expressed that acting on the Gazette notification, interviews are expected to be held without delay to recruit them to the public service as the earliest as possible. The Grama Lirdari examinations were conducted by the Department of Examinations on the 2nd of December 2023. Minister Tiranala says that punishments will be given to the offenders without considering their status when completing the investigations into the Easter Sunday attacks. He made these remarks at a special workshop conducted to educate the Community Police Committee. Currently, several drug dealers and criminals have been taken into custody by the Yukti operation. He stated that the target is to eradicate the drugs and underworld by the end of June. It is hoped to minimize children and women's violation being carried out through social media by the implementation of the Online Safety Bill. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Rehearsals for the 76th Independence Day ceremony, scheduled to commence on Monday, have been pushed back by a day. In a media release, the Police Media Division said rehearsals would thus begin on Tuesday the 30th and will continue until the 3rd of February at the Galle-Face Green. Meanwhile, a special traffic plan is planned out to be put in place on a stretch of the Galle Road in view of the upcoming event. As such, the Galle Road will temporarily remain closed from the Kollupitia Junction, Galle-Face, and from the Ceramic Junction, Galle-Face. A Sri Lankan multi-day fishing trawler with 6 crew members aboard has reportedly been abducted by Somali pirates, the Department of Fisheries confirms. According to a spokesperson from the department, the fishing trawler along with several Sri Lankan fishermen have been kidnapped by the pirates in the Arabian Sea. The authorities state that necessary measures are being taken to rescue the abducted fishermen.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
Minister Douglas Devananda says that the President and the government has planned to provide solutions to the problems faced by the fishing community in the country. Accordingly, speedy solutions will be provided to the issues of fuel, the imports of fish and fishing gear. He made these remarks at a function to present health certificates to the fishermen who are engaged in the fishing industry.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
People are facing hardships due to the poor transport activities of the SLTB and private buses in the rural areas especially in the Kundasale and Madadumbara Divisional Secretariat divisions. Passengers have requested the relevant authorities to provide a speedy solution regarding this issue. This is for the attention of the chairman of the Kandy District Planning Committee.
Coming up, World News.
Donald Trump ordered to pay $3.3 million for defaming writer Jean Carroll. Japan bomber may have been found after 50 years. The UN condemns Alabama nitrogen gas execution. A New York jury has decided Donald Trump should pay $3.3 million for defaming columnist Jean Carroll in 2019 while he was U.S. President. The penalty in the civil trial is made up of $18.3 million for compensatory damages and $65 million in punitive damages. Mr. Trump was found in a previous civil case to have defamed Miss Carroll and sexually assaulted her in the 1990s. He vowed to appeal the latest ruling, calling the case a witch hunt and the verdict absolutely ridiculous. The compensatory damages are meant to account for the harm that the jury found his comments had done to her reputation and emotional well-being. For decades, the smiling mugshot of Satoshi Kirishima has featured on wanted posters outside police stations across Japan. After 49 years on the run, authorities think they may have got their man. A patient at a hospital near Tokyo has claimed he is Kirishima, a member of a militant group behind several deadly bombings in the 1970s. The police are waiting for DNA tests on the man, who was admitted under a different name, suffering terminal cancer. Kirishima had belonged to the East Asia Anti-Japan Armed Front, a radical, left-wing organization believed to be behind several bombings against companies in Japan's capital between 1972 and 1975. The UN and the EU and anti-death penalty activists have condemned the first execution of a prisoner using nitrogen gas. Kenneth Eugene Smith was put to death on Thursday night at a state prison in Atmore, Alabama. A journalist who witnessed the execution told the BBC that Smith thrashed violently on the gurney. Smith was convicted in 1989 of murdering a preacher's wife, Elizabeth Sennett, in a killing for hire. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, said he had serious concerns this novel and untested method of suffocation by nitrogen gas may amount to torture or cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Donald Trump ordered to pay $3.3 million for defaming writer Jean Carroll. Japan bomber may have been found after 50 years. The UN condemns Alabama nitrogen gas execution.
Development News.
The construction work of the wall to the entrance of the Maniganga will be expedited under the Katharagama Sacred City and New Town Development Plan. The Basnayak in Ilame, Dishan Vikramatne, said that 150 rupees will be allocated from the Mahadevala Development Fund in this regard.
Moving on with sports news.
Minister Harin Fernando says that he believes the ban which was imposed by the ICC to Sri Lanka will be removed in the next few days. Discussions were held with the chief executive officers of the ICC recently. The cricket ban was imposed during the past period due to the political mediation. Therefore, Sri Lanka has lost the host status of Under-19 World Cricket Championship and the annual summit of the ICC.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account. NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In a move towards advancing sustainable development, the United Nations Development Programme in Sri Lanka UNDP and the UN Global Compact Network Sri Lanka recently renewed their commitment through the signing of the third Memorandum of Understanding MOU. The agreement aims to join efforts in facilitating private sector participation and promoting sustainable development in Sri Lanka.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB I am, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, treasury bills valued at 160 million rupees will be issued expiring in 91, 182 and 364 days. These bills can be purchased from the primary dealers and from licensed commercial banks. The central bank said that the auction will be held on Wednesday.
Weather report.
Showers will occur at times in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Polonnaruwa, Mathale and Hambantota districts. A few showers may occur in the Anuradhapura and Mullaitivu districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western and Sabargama provinces and in the Gala, Mathura, Kandy and Nuvara Elia districts after 2 p.m. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times over the northern, north-central, eastern, central, Uva and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota district. That was with the report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. A new political party was launched as a new alliance in Jayala today. The Grama Niladhari exam results released, recruitments expected soon. Minister Tiranala says that punishments will be meted out to offenders without considering their status when completing the investigations into the Easter Sunday attack. Somali pirates seize a Sri Lankan fishing trawler with 6 crew members aboard. Donald Trump ordered to pay $3.3 million for defaming writer Jean Carroll. That concludes this news broadcast, and now it's back to your host, for a change, this Saturday evening, Dilshan Timel on the other side, to keep our listeners in great company this Saturday night. Over to you, Dilshan Timel.